is actually at the InfraGard Congress and Conference, I guess more so under the ACES banner. But I think we've met at previous meetings, and so when it came time to talk about physical security, they were at the top of the list, and I said, come on in and tell us what's new out there, because a lot of us are not in that field, so just kind of what things can be done to secure your building. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Can everyone hear me okay? Thank you. Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here this morning. I won't repeat this information because you've been staring at it for quite some time. I just want to start with a thought. I think it's probably going to apply to a lot of our presentations here, but just something to think about as we go through information and share some thoughts. Would anyone like to venture a guess as to what this map represents? It's not the latest Starbucks openings. Unfortunately, it's a lot more alarming than that. These red dots reflect all of the mass shooting events that have occurred so far in 2018. 234 was the Jacksonville Video Gaming Conference. You can tell I prepared this originally back in August, pre-hurricane. 272 was the mass shooting just down the road here in Maryland at a Rite Aid warehouse. 4 people were killed. And I don't even have to get into last week and this weekend, the tragic events at a synagogue, at a Kroger store. It is horrific. And we need to do something about that. I think that is what has brought us here today, that we all recognize the importance of physical security, and perhaps our reasons for interest in physical security and a commitment to physical security are a personal reason. This is my personal reason, my wife and my nieces. This is why I'm committed to physical security as well. Several federal agencies think you should be committed to physical security and that physical security matters as well. This is the OSHA General Duty Clause, which requires that each employer furnish a workplace that is free from recognized hazards that are causing or likely to cause death or serious physical harm. I'm pretty sure that active shooter falls within that last few words. Department of Homeland Security, this is their mindset they think you should adopt as well. Public gathering places like houses of worship, shopping malls, concert venues, stadiums, and businesses of all sizes need to consider the proper measures required to protect staff and visitors. And another reason why physical security matters, beyond that, if we need a reason, but liability also. That is of tremendous incident concern. These were some of the headlines also, or some of the news outlets 2 days after that video gaming conference shooting. So this is something to consider as well. Before we look at some of the physical security technologies available to us, let's at least define what we mean by physical security. We hear that word used loosely in the media, and it doesn't come without a little bit of confusion. Physical security describes security measures that are designed to deny unauthorized access to facilities. Physical security, it's also important to point out that it can involve multiple layers of disparate systems working together also, and we'll take a look at that as well. So, does anyone's facility look like this? This is the ultimate in physical security. We keep the bad guys inside, and it's very difficult to get from the outside in. Prisons use some of the latest and many layers of physical security to protect this site. Prisons are even starting to use and deploy anti-drone technology to thwart against the growing concern of drone technology introducing contraband into the facilities. But I'm pretty sure nobody wants their facility to look like this. This might be more reflective of your building. Maybe it's an office building, federal building, commercial facility, warehouse, stadium, or perhaps an entire campus, healthcare campus. And these are the physical security technologies that are available to us today to help protect against hostile events and active shooter. And again, it's not any single technology, it's a combination of these working together to protect our staff, our visitors, and our employees. So let's take a look at some of the technologies available to us, and I want to start with video surveillance. That is in the most recent years where we're seeing some of the significant technology advances are in video surveillance. Before we do that, though, I want to at least make sure we all agree on the value of providing HD quality video, high definition. So if you have an older analog system, analog video system, or if you're deploying a new system, it's imperative that we provide the most useful information possible. Whether we're viewing video live or searching on recorded video, we need highly usable information that HD, high definition video provides. Also, during an active event, this is where law enforcement and your administration are going to go to view that video surveillance, and we need high quality video to interact during an event. HD cameras come in several different form factors, aesthetics, and performance ranges, and we select the right camera based on what you're trying to see. And what magic formula does the security industry use to select the right camera? We use Dory. Not the cartoon fish, but rather Dory, which is an acronym that stands for Detect, Observe, Recognize, and Identify. These are the classifications we use when we're working with end users, architects and engineers, security integrators, to select the right camera, to select the right performance level, resolution level, lighting capabilities. Are we trying to detect that there is a threat in the field of view that you're trying to cover? Or are we trying to observe that it's 6 guys and they're moving in this direction? Or are we trying to recognize that it's 4 gentlemen and they're on cell phones? Or are we looking for positive identification? By knowing what we're trying to accomplish and classify, we can select the right technology and apply it to that area. So let's look at some of the video surveillance technologies that are available to us to meet these Dory criteria. Again, the goal is to have highly usable information at our facility. You can see the image on the left here. It's not usable at all. We've got a lot of bright backlighting. The image appears to be a silhouette. However, the image on the right is exactly what we're trying to capture. This is what we're going to use to protect our visitors, staff, and the facility from any events. This camera uses a technology called wide dynamic range. It can make an image regardless of bright backlights, dark low lights, so any of that contrast does not matter to that camera. And this is also a good example as to why a basic camera just doesn't cut it in all applications. And this is another example of where a basic camera just doesn't work. Again, we've got bright highlights, dark low lights, and we want to see everything in the scene and not miss any of it. And in this case, you can see there's something that could be a potential threat out on our sidewalk that we would have missed if a basic camera were used. So again, wide dynamic range is a phenomenal technology to consider at the right location. So what do we see in this image? We see a lake, boathouses with boats. In the foreground, I can even see looks to be a canoe or a kayak. And what time of day do you think this is? This is the middle of the night. To the naked eye, this image was completely black. There was a little bit of faint light coming from the tree line. In today's world of video surveillance, we have ultra-low light imaging technology that can make an image in almost no light. So if the area that you need to view and record has very, very minimal lighting, we've got you covered. This is another example of ultra-low light capability. In this scene, I'm making a color image, and I can see all the detail in this storage closet. Our industry colleague, Sean, this is our storage closet at our Chadds Ford office, Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania. But I can see all the detail in the scene, positive facial identification, color image, all from the illumination of a Bic lighter. So again, ultra-low light camera technology available. What's worse than a bat in your attic? 2 bats in the attic. This is technology that is useful when there is 0 illumination. So not just ultra-low light, but if the area you need to view and record has no light whatsoever, we have video surveillance technology with infrared illumination. So the camera can make a light source, and we can view and record in absolutely zero illumination. Another technology to deploy at the right location. So let me ask you a question. What do you think the attention span is of an operator whose job it is to view video surveillance cameras? The answer is 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, video surveillance operators miss 95% of what is going on all the cameras they're supposed to watch. So what if there was a technology available to us that alerted us of important information that is happening in the scene? What is relevant to us and what we're trying to thwart against? That technology is called intelligent video analytics, and this has become very popular. We're deploying more cameras, we're storing more video, and we are only interested in what is relevant in that scene. So intelligent video analytics allows us to set up tasks, whether it's line crossing, object entering field. This can be done by size, by color, but really allows the system to work intelligently for us and not us just sitting there staring at cameras waiting for something to happen. This intelligent video analytics, even a lot of our facilities, we don't have somebody whose job it is to watch video continuously or monitor it. We're interested in historic information. I can come in Monday morning and do a forensic search on every time somebody tried to climb that fence, and it will pull up all those video clips. So again, forensic search is very popular with intelligent video analytics. I can get to the information that is relevant to me in that camera's scene very quickly. One of the most recent advancements in video analytics now includes the ability to put this technology onto a pan-tilt zoom camera. And if you think about how challenging that might be, the entire scene is moving. So how, when the whole scene is moving, can I detect that a threat is there? Well, the artificial intelligence has advanced enough that I can create these same fields, and the camera is smart enough to know that this is a threat in that area. So now I can detect, just like we did with a fixed camera, with a movable camera. And once I detect that threat, the camera is now smart enough that it can change into intelligent tracking mode and track that threat and see where it goes. So again, we're putting these tools we've had around for years and making them so much more useful to us. So perhaps the area we're trying to view has multiple environmental challenges. Bright light, low light, smoke, fog. In previous years, it would have taken 2 cameras to cover that same area. But now we have combined this technology into one camera. We are combining a visual camera with a thermal imaging camera. Thermal imaging, we all know what a visual camera can do and how it works, but a thermal imaging camera makes an image based on temperature differentials. So in cases where the visual camera does not perform well for us, we overlap and can use the thermal imaging technology to give us complete situational awareness. So that's what we achieve with both of these technologies combined. Another example of this, using smoke. Here's the visual camera. Works great when there's light. When that light source is removed, I can no longer see that individual. So you can see the benefit of complete situational awareness. These 2 cameras also both have intelligent video analytics on them. So if I'm watching my visual camera, I am getting analytics fused from my thermal imaging camera, which is obviously seeing something that I cannot see in the visual camera. So as an operator, I recognize that there's something in that scene that I can't see. I can click on that and be alerted of, wow, there is really an event happening that I was not able to see, but the thermal imaging camera did. So here we're combining thermal imaging, visual camera with these analytics. Again, complete situational awareness if that is our goal. Has anybody heard the phrase Internet of Things? IoT. Exactly, and we're hearing more and more of it now. What does it mean? It means connectivity. We live in a connected world. All of these devices allow for us to be connected. What is the biggest challenge to IoT? Data security. All of these devices are on the network and are prone to be hacked now that we have all these devices on the network. Home Depot was hacked a few years ago through a network device, HVAC. Target was hacked through ATM devices. Now, when talking to customers about their vulnerabilities with data security, a lot of them say, I don't care if my video surveillance gets hacked, they can watch my video. Hackers do not care about your video. They care about everything else on your network. Their goal is to hack that device on the network, the camera, the intercom station, and install a bot, malware, and weaponize that device to attack your system. They don't care about the video. They care about your HIPAA records at the hospital. They care about your credit card information, customer information. And they probably don't even want to steal it. They want to hold you ransom for that. So when you're looking at these security technologies, you want to take into consideration that data security vulnerability, what the threat looks like at your facility, and use devices that are designed to protect from installing any of that threatening information. So in today's world of video surveillance, obviously that allows us to see something. But with the active shooter and hostile events that we live in today, it is imperative now that we be able to say something also. So we need to communicate in our facility. And that message is likely going to differ from area to area. Maybe in some areas I need to tell them to shelter in place, other areas I need to tell them to evacuate. This user-friendly piece of software combines my public address systems, my intercom systems, video, as well as access control and being able to lock down. For instance, very easily I can select an area and send a message.
Test message. Please ignore. Please exit the building via the front door.
Someone pushes a panic alarm. This can occur in my system. I'm alerted of that panic alarm. I have the video associated with that panic alarm, and I can choose to react accordingly.
Test message. Please ignore. This is a security announcement. The building is now in lockdown. Please remain seated and do not attempt to leave the building. Stay away from windows, do not use the lifts, and wait for further notice. Test message. Please ignore. This is a security update announcement. The building is no longer in lockdown. I repeat, the building is no longer in lockdown. Thank you.
We've got to be able to communicate, and that's one way of doing it, but this is something we really have to give strong consideration to, and very much complements the other physical security technologies we're looking at, video surveillance as well. What if I need to interact with my security systems remotely? Maybe the school office has been compromised. Perhaps I'm in another building. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to view video, send those instant messages, send pre-recorded messages, lock down, do that all from a mobile device? Well, that technology exists, and we can do that. It's also something to consider. Do we want to give this technology or this capability to local law enforcement? Perhaps. I think it's a good time to point out the importance of having a community discussion when it comes to physical security. Perhaps we want to involve our conversation of protecting our facility with hospitals, EMTs, first responders, law enforcement, maybe even our neighboring facilities, our neighbors. So community is very much a big part of this, and maybe they can assist as well with some of our technology, especially in mobile cases like this, or mobile technology. Another significant physical security technology is perimeter detection. If we can be notified of a threat before it hits our front door, it gives us more time to react, especially when time is of the essence in active shooting, hostile events. Minutes and seconds count. There are several perimeter detection technologies out there. We have cabled fence system, if that is appropriate at your location. This system will detect a cut or climb on your fence and notify you of that location within 10 feet. So we can call up surveillance cameras that might be pointing in that direction, or have a pan-tilt zoom camera move directly to that area. So that's a technology to consider. If you don't have a fence but there's a large open area, we have buried cable systems. And these systems create a magnetic field and detect a crawler, a runner, somebody walking, anybody over 40 pounds. So small animals do not interact with this system. And we also have volumetric microwave beams in areas as well to protect. So again, if we can protect the perimeter, move the perimeter out beyond our front door, gives us much more time to react. Let's talk about access control for a moment. I'm sure everyone is familiar with it and probably uses it at their location. Access control, we issue credentials that allow somebody to come in when they are allowed to come in. We can also run a report about who went where and when. But maybe you have a higher throughput of individuals, not just a door. Maybe we also want to try to thwart against tailgating. This technology is optical barrier turnstiles, and optical sensors can detect tailgating, which obviously someone can hold a door in another instance with access control. So it prevents tailgating. The right technology and using the right optical turnstile can also address real-world problems of roller bags, service animals, and determine whether or not they are or are not tailgaters. So very sophisticated technology and something to consider, which can either be a barrier arm or a full-height shield as well. So something to consider with our access control system. Another component of access control, which has really had a lot of advancements recently, is biometric reader technology. It's been around for 20 plus years. Traditionally, though, it is slow to present a credential, which is something on your body, fingerprint, hand geometry, iris scan, and it takes a while for that to read that. That's why we don't typically, in the past, have not used it at high throughput areas. It's maybe on your data closet or a valuables cage, just that technology. Higher security and minimum throughput. Well, that is changing, and I think we're going to see that continue to improve. This device here is what is called a morpho wave reader. I simply wave my hand through there very quickly, and camera technology recognizes my fingerprints from multiple angles and allows access, and it does it very quickly. So biometrics are something to consider because I can't hand my card or hand that credential off to anybody else. Only that person with that hand is coming in through my facility. And it's getting faster. So this is a technology to consider and continue to watch too as it evolves. The user interface to your security systems should be a priority and not an afterthought, which unfortunately it frequently is. We want all of these disparate systems to work together in a very comfortable environment. This is a command and control console that uses the latest sit-stand technology. These are in the elevated position right now. They are electronically actuated. There's a button that you can push to raise or lower. The benefit there for an operator who's watching these systems and interacting is it increases blood flow, which increases attention span. So you can sit or stand for a period of time. A well-designed security console should take several things into consideration. Monitors, monitor mounting heights, monitor sizes, monitor viewing distances. We want the operator to be able to just tilt their eyes to view any of our systems. We don't want them to have to tilt their head. A well-designed security console should also give consideration to excellent cable management. Cable management improves installation, serviceability, costs on maintenance, and we also want this to take into consideration any cooling or airflow restrictions related to the security equipment that we have there. So the console is an important part of our interaction with our physical security systems. So I think we've identified that there's not one clear technology that is available to protect us. and protect what matters, but rather it's going to be multiple technologies working together to protect what matters to us. This is my team. Our team is available. We represent several manufacturers in the physical security space. We are here to help you navigate your physical security design. It is our role in the industry to meet with facilities like yours, find out what risks you're trying to mitigate, what problems you're trying to solve, and come up with a solution that falls within your budget. To do that effectively, we have to be very well versed on the latest security technologies. So what does the future of physical security look like? This is TSA's vision of the future of an airport security checkpoint. I find this kind of interesting that in the future, apparently there is another transportation mode, because I've never seen a security checkpoint so little occupied. Ultimately, it's anyone's guess as to what the future of physical security is going to look like. I'm pretty sure it's going to include robots, continued advancements in artificial intelligence, machine learning. But again, we have a lot of compelling technologies available to us now that we can use to protect what matters most to us, our facility, our visitors, our staff, and on a personal note, what is important to each of us. Thank you. Appreciate the time.